Hello, welcome to my presentation. The Gulf of Nicoya. It's a large tropical estuary located on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica. It will face a number of management issues this coming century. Number one, the coral reefs. Coral reefs are vital, biodiverse. They're huge for ecotourism, so they're very important. In Costa Rica and around the world, they face bleaching and degrading by sea temperature rising. In Costa Rica specifically, they face the threat of warming El Nino events, which is a rise in surface sea level temperatures. It happens periodically. In the face of climate change, with even greater surface sea temperatures, these threats may be greater. In the past, the events have caused bleaching. Two islands off of the coast of Costa Rica on the Pacific side are designated no-take fishing zones, and they have experienced greater recovery, resiliency after these bleaching events. In order to promote the resiliency of the coral reefs, Costa Rica's management will need to preserve and even expand protection of the coral reefs in order that they can recover from bleaching events. Number two, the water quality. The Gulf's watershed is faced with urbanization and tourism development. This converts forest land into non-permeable surfaces, increasing surface runoff, which in part increases non-point source pollution loads into the Gulf. These developments might not have adequate sewage treatment. A lot of the country does not, and they could contribute to nutrient loading in the Gulf. The watershed is also a major agricultural region, and conventional farming techniques will add to the do add to the nutrient loading in the Gulf. Another concern is that the climate predictions are that Costa Rica will become warmer and drier, which will put surface water flows into conflict with irrigation requirements. With less surface water flowing in the rivers, the pollutant loads will be more concentrated, and so they will have a more drastic effect. The Gulf already experiences occasional red tides, and these could occur more often, especially in the upper Gulf, which is more influenced by surface water flows. And on the other hand, this upper Gulf is very important as a hatchery for the fish that populate the reefs, as well as the rest of the waters in Costa Rica. Some positive steps have been made by the country in expanding and implementing wastewater treatment plants in the metropolitan region, and this development is projected to increase. An additional concern, number three, will be protecting environmental services that the natural environment provides. Because of the development, we need to make sure that they preserve the wetlands, including the mangroves that ring the upper Gulf and provide the hatchery habitat. To do so would be great. If they're not protected, the water flows would not be sustained throughout the year, and the enhancement of water quality that these habitats provide would not continue. So this is very important for both ecotourism as well as the sustainability of the fisheries, which is a huge concern for the country. The Gulf of Nicoya provides 70% of Costa Rica's fish catch every year. The management of these fish catcheries is very critical. It needs to be sustainable, and in order to do that, they will need to balance commercial fishing as well as small-scale fishing, which is done by the villagers with indigenous techniques. And they also need to keep in mind the ecological constraints so that they can meet economic, environmental, and social goals of sustainability. This is being done. It's done through a combination of collaborative local fishery management. It brings together all the stakeholders as well as federal oversight by establishing critical no-take zones, such as the islands off of the coast that I mentioned earlier. Those four different topics: the coral reefs, the water quality, the development concerns, and the fisheries are the four major issues that the Gulf of Nicoya will face this coming century. Thank you. I think. Thank you.